Urgent update on the do I dare say the word? Is YouTube going to censor me? COVID-19. The hashtag beer flu and the new variant called the Omicron variant. Let's get into it right now. But first, let's hit you all with the old intro. What's up, guys? International Stacker here, and usually I do videos about gold and silver, literally traveling the world, buying gold and silver, and how it's a hedge against inflation and can protect you in the future and what I'm doing in my journey. But why do I travel the world so much? Why do I travel across the United States so much? As a matter of fact, I just got to North Carolina a day ago. So I'm coming to you live from North Carolina. The reason is because I work in emergency management around the world for governments, for states, for countries, for cities, whatever the assignment might be. I'm a contractor, okay? I spent a lot of time over in the Middle East, which means I was part of the MERS coronavirus response there in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I was also a big part of the COVID-19 response here in the United States, which is why I have a unique perspective on this and I have authority to really speak on this subject. I'm going to break down to you very quickly on the new variant, if you should be scared, if you should not, what you can do to be prepared, and what does it mean for everybody. There's some bad news, but there is also some very, very good news, I believe. So I'm going to give it about 30 seconds for those people watching after the fact and for those people joining. For everyone who's joined, please smash the like button. Please leave a comment below. It's really going to help this video because this video, the topic I'm speaking about, is definitely not going to be promoted. It's going to be suppressed. So as much as you all interact with it, can get this out and what's actually going on to a wider range of people. Now, when COVID or the hashtag beer flu or the cerveza virus first started, I did a series of live streams in early December, all the way through December, I believe, to January maybe, I can't quite remember. And I'd leave them up for 24 hours, then I'd have to delete them because at that time, YouTube was heavily suppressing. We were getting all kinds of warnings. I think it's a little bit better now. We'll see how this does. I might keep this video up. I might not. But now that you've all joined and I see we've got over 50 people and 15 likes, so please smash the like button. And we're going to go ahead and get into this right now. So, COVID-19 is a coronavirus. It's nothing, a coronavirus is not new to the world. A lot of the common sicknesses you see every year, colds and flus, etc., are caused by coronaviruses, including the virus outbreak I worked on, which was the MERS coronavirus, Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus. Now, MERS was highly deadly, but it was very hard to spread it. It was infectious, but most of the people, most of the population that one impacted were folks in hospitals, those immunocompromised with pre-existing conditions, etc. Okay? So we were able to be successful at that. What made this current one so dangerous? It was a novel virus no one had ever seen before, and it had a high level of transmissibility. So we went through the whole alpha the original, the alpha, then we got the beta. And if you remember, the Delta variant came along, which was nearly double, if not more, in terms of infectivity, being able to spread to others, or what's called the R0 or the R0 rate. Anything above 1 is going to continue to spread. You want to get that number below 1 to stop an epidemic or pandemic, okay? So that's kind of the history where we're at. Now, on, I believe it was November 24th, the South African officials announced a new variant called Omicron variant there in South Africa in the Gauteng province. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right. So that was on the 24th. We're 5th now. So what are we, 3-4 weeks into this? Probably 4 weeks if you count spread going on there. So what is the Omicron virus? I'm going to break this down to you very quickly. It's a heavily mutated variant, okay? This variant has over 30 different changes or mutations. Now, here's a little breakdown of why that's good and bad. Have any of you ever played the game Pandemic? I've played it way before COVID, and you get a certain amount of points, and you can pick what you want the virus to do. If you want it to mutate, be more transmissible, be airborne, blah, blah, blah. So put ones in the chat right now if you've ever played that game. Well, This is kind of similar. Viruses are only going to be able to mutate so much, okay? So this one is heavily mutated, so that's over 30 changes to the spike protein. And side note, this has been detected already in 23 countries, so the cat's out of the bag there. But it looks like, and I'm going to get into this more in a minute here, but it looks like the mutations mostly focused on transmissibility. This thing is way more transmissible than Delta. However, and this is preliminary data, we've only got a couple weeks of data, it's looking like the consequences or the disease process is way less severe than normal. And I'm going to get into some data right now and prove that to you for what we know now. So what does that mean? It's going to spread much quicker. It's already spread to 23 countries, which means it's already in more, just not detected. However, the consequences of it may be a lot less, and this could be our way out of this thing. Really quickly, let me break this down. There's been about 42,000 cases reported up to December 3rd in South Africa. The numbers are likely much higher, and let me show you what this chart looks like. So these are the different, provinces there in South Africa. And you see here, this is the Gauteng or Gauteng or Ting. Let me know in the comments below if I'm mispronouncing it. This is their activity. So you can see first wave, second wave, third wave, and look at the straight up growth on this fourth wave. So if they're saying 42,000, it's most likely 3, 4, 5x, maybe even 10x that number is the real number, which is actually going to be good for us, okay? So the real number is likely much higher and exponential. Now, this is preliminary data again. It appears to be much more transmissible than the Delta, much more, okay? However, the data so far shows it's a much less severe disease process. How do I know that? I'm going to get into the data quickly for you. It's not going to be boring. You need to know this stuff so you can be prepared, and I'm going to tell you how you can prepare. Now, the spike, there has been a spike in admissions in hospitals, and I have a chart for that. So there has weekly hospital admission, weekly tests, and weekly case or daily cases, 7-day average. There has been an increase in hospital admissions, but it's not what you think. And let me get into that right now. There was a study done by the South African Medical Research Council, and they looked at a small number of patients. Remember, this is all brand new, so in the next 2 weeks, we're going to have much better data. But they looked at 166 patients with COVID, okay? Of that 166, they focused on 42, and this was at the Steve Biko Hospital in Pretoria. Pretoria is one of the biggest areas within the Gauteng province. However, they can't test for the variant there at the hospital yet, but you're going to see now we think that this is mostly the variant activity. So most were diagnosed. So of the people admitted, of the 46 focus group we're looking at, 76% were admitted into the hospital for other things. Maybe heart, maybe a car accident, maybe a problem with their sugar, maybe they broke a wrist. They were all, 76 of that group, 76% were admitted for other conditions, and because of all the rules and regulations and policies for COVID testing, they were all tested for COVID, and of the group tested positive for COVID, 76% of those were incidental admissions, meaning they had COVID, but they didn't know it. None of them had respiratory symptoms at all. So they were routinely checked for admission to the hospital for whatever condition they were, a broken leg, whatever, and 76% of them were positive with COVID and didn't even know it. Now, of the group that was admitted that has confirmed COVID, 70% of them are not oxygen dependent, which is huge. They're saturating really well on room air, or in the medical field on a report you do RA, room air, which means they're doing well just like you and me. Most people watching this, your room air is probably 96 to 100%. If you're elderly or have chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, or otherwise known as COPDs, it could be down in the low 90s, etc. So what this means is 70% of people were not O2 dependent. So 76% had COVID and didn't even know it. They just found out from doing an incidental test. Of the group admitted, 70% of them are not on oxygen. They're doing well, which is 180 degrees from normal COVID, guys. Normal COVID, most people end up on oxygen, okay? Of the 30% that are on supplementary oxygen, about 5% are for other reasons that don't have to do with COVID, and 21% of those did have pneumonia caused by COVID, so that's why they're on it, okay? It appears the spread of Omicron, and you see here this wave coming in, it appears that the spread is off the charts, or going to be quickly, literally. It has higher rates of community transmission than previous waves in South Africa, and that's what the authorities there said. That's a quote. But much, much lower hospital admission, and those that are admitted, a large majority of those aren't admitted for COVID. It's for other things, and it's getting caught. So with the MERS coronavirus in the Middle East, we think the numbers were actually much higher of people infected, which means the CFR, the case fatality rate, was much lower, okay? So the same thing is probably going on in South Africa, where this is just the tip of the iceberg. Tons of people are infected. However, they're never going to be caught because it's not presenting like normal COVID. It's not severe. And they just get over it like any other sickness you would deal with. Another quote from the South African officials is that the clinical profiles of admitted patients could change significantly over the next 2 weeks. So what does that mean? That means what we're looking at here, and here's another chart. This is the Gauteng province compared to other ones around there. You see that spike. It means we only know what we know now. Initial data is looking very good, and I'll tell you why here in a second. But that all could change. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to find out a lot more. Here's one more good fact, and then I'm going to tell you what all this means. Previously, for the past 18 months in South Africa, if you went into the hospital with COVID, your average length of stay was 8.5 days. With this new one, for the people that end up in there, the average stay over the past 2 weeks has been 2.8 days. So that is, more than half in the cut of the amount of time people have to stay in hospital, which means even those that are admitted, the disease process is way less severe. So what does this mean for the world? This means this thing is already in 23 countries, which means it's in a lot more. Last I saw, there was 10 cases reported in the United States, which means there's a lot more. That means this thing, I believe, and this is my opinion alone, that this is going to spread rapidly around the entire world. It's already started, but it's going to lead to rapid herd immunity with minimal hospital admissions, okay? The only way out of a pandemic is to hit herd immunity, and that could be done through natural immunity, and that could be done through vaccination immunity. This stream's not to talk about vaccine and what's better, what's not, but that's the way for every virus, everything we dealt with in the past, we've gotten through. It's hitting that herd immunity. And then what will happen is this will become endemic. It'll be just a background thing we have to deal with that becomes normal because it's not novel anymore, okay? So bottom line up front, this is still preliminary data. This could all change. We need to get another 2 weeks to see what's going on. But I know a lot of others are hoping that this is actually the fact that this could lead to the end of the pandemic and getting back to our lives, our normal lives, and stopping the madness and lunacy what's going on around the world. So bottom line up front, Omicron variant, much, much more transmissible than Delta. However, it has 30 mutations to spike protein, and most of those mutations are for that. It seems that the effect of this, the case severity is much less. It seems people are having mild symptoms, and it seems so far a lot of the people in South Africa that are being admitted to the hospital don't even know they're having COVID. And this jump in cases you're seeing people test positive are people going to the hospital for other things and that being found. This could be the biggest blessing in disguise that we need, because the Delta variant does put a lot more people in the hospital, has a lot more severe consequences, especially for those who are immunocompromised. You have underlying disease, you have COPD, et cetera, et cetera. If this thing spreads around the world and gets us to herd immunity, that would be beautiful. Now, are some people still going to have bad outcomes with Omicron? Certainly. Just like with any other disease process that normally goes around every year, some people end up having negative outcomes, whether it's underlying medical condition or something else, right? So you still need to be safe. This is not something to be cavalier about, but this is something that could hopefully lead to the end of this pandemic. What can you do? I'm going to pause here in a second for questions, but I'm going to tell you really quickly what you can do. And by the way, my time frame for this thing spreading around the entire world and just taking over as the dominant strain, because viruses, guys, they compete. And the more transmissible it is, that strain takes over as the dominant strain, and it kills most of the other strains. That becomes the dominant strain, and it outcompetes everything. Survival of the fittest, I guess you could say. So I'm thinking it's going to be anywhere from 5 to 8 weeks. We're going to see this thing spread like wildfire across the entire world. Now, what can you do? The first note here on what you can do is always be prepared. No, villain, we're not all going to die. Always be prepared. And this is a pandemic. This is for an earthquake. This is for a flood. Remember, this is my life, guys. I'm literally a prepper going around the world helping governments out prepare for disasters. That's what I do for a living, right? So make sure you have emergency food, an emergency water, an emergency cash fund in your house. Are you going to need it for this? Most likely not. But if you remember my earlier videos in December's, I warned you all to prepare, get emergency food. A lot of people listened, some didn't, and people were having a hard time getting staples at grocery stores. The shelves were they're dry. Emergency food had like a month delay. So don't wait. Go to preparewithis.com. Okay, and then preparewithis.com, shameless plug. This is the best deal you're going to get on emergency food on the internet. Get it before inflation strikes this, guys. You put it in a closet, forget about it. Preparewithis.com. It is good for 25 freaking years, and you're not on your roof screaming for FEMA or help. You can eat and survive until you get help. So emergency water, emergency food, and always have emergency cash. Us as silver and gold stackers don't like to have a lot of cash, or what's called fiat currency, which means to just let it be into existence. It's literally printed. And just put into existence, or even now it's not even printed anymore. It's digital numbers, right? But you're gonna need cash for an emergency situation. So always keep emergency cash with your preps. 2, make sure that you have added N95 masks, the duckbill N95, the duckbill style, because N95s you have to get fit tested to be effective, but the duckbills are more forgiving. Make sure you have hand sanitizer and medical gloves. You want the nitrile medical gloves, N-I-T-R-L-E, nitrile medical gloves. Do I think you're going to need all that for this? No, but in case you did, you have it. It's in stock everywhere around the world now, and if there's ever an event in the future, you have it. Remember, the normal surgical masks provide little protection for you. They protect others. That's why doctors and nurses wear it during surgery and that type of thing. That is to prevent you from coughing and sneezing out harmful particulates and diseases and viruses or whatever it is, and spreading it to other people. Remember, the cloth masks and stuff everyone's working is effective for people sneezing, containing that and coughing, etc., but it doesn't help for microparticles. An N95 is the industry standard. Now, yes, the coronavirus can end up being smaller than an N95 protects for. N95 protects 95% of a certain size particle. However, for the most part, it does very well against COVID because the majority of those particles are not that small, okay? I saw many and supplied many frontline responders with N95s throughout this entire response, and it protected them. I myself, when I was a medical provider, used to wear N95s, and it protected me from meningitis. It protected me from MERS, coronavirus, everything else. So N95 duckbill is the best type. Hand sanitizer, medical gloves. Can you get an N100? Sure, but N95 is the minimum you want to have. 3, you want to wash your hands frequently. This is not only during COVID times, this is during normal times. Wash your hands before you eat. Wash your hands before you feed your kid. Wash your hands before you prepare food. You can touch surfaces and get all kinds of gross things. You can fly on the plane and get gross things. You can even catch things from yourself, right? Well, I'm clean. Yeah, but if you like poop and you're pooping out stuff and you get it on your hand and then you eat it, you can actually cause yourself to get sick, okay? So although you're clean, you still want to wash your hands. And then sleep is important. Vitamins are important, especially all indications and things I saw during COVID. Vitamin D helps a lot. So make sure you have a vitamin D intake, and that will help you to be prepared as well. Remember, preparewithis.com for the best deal on emergency food that could literally save. You could literally pay $267, throw it in a closet, and in 24 years, it saves your life for an investment of $267. And think how much inflation is going to go up from now to 25 years. And think how much this is probably going to go up over the next couple months. All right, with all that, I know that was a lot of information. Please smash the like if you like these updates. And I'm going to start taking questions. So please ask away. And I saw Stingray's comment. I lick doorknobs to build my immunity. That's funny. Nose is throwing up. So, did you guys like this update? Did this update make you feel better? Like, does it make you feel more comfortable? We still want to prepare because the numbers could be totally whacked and wrong. This thing could be crazy. So, we still want to be prepared, but things are looking great. IS International Stacker, do you eat this food? Yes. Before I stacked it myself and agreed to promote it, I tested it myself. I actually made a video on my channel you can go watch where I fed it to a bunch of the little stackers and they actually liked it. If you can feed it to kids and they like it, that's awesome. Oh, and we've got an OG in the silver community, Salivate Metal in the house. He's saying hi, yes, great update. Thanks, Sal. I hope you saw the whole thing. If not, watch it back. Just keep Constitutional Silver with you. People do backflips to get it. Yes, Constitutional, I think, is fantastic. Oh, and for all of you that don't know, I have a Discord. So make sure you get the link out of the description below and get on that Discord. A lot of cool things happen in there. Rand is talking about toilet seats. California, we trust IS better than Dr. Fauci. Thank you, my friend. Johnny B, I'm not worried about COVID at all. That's great, Johnny. And I think COVID was an eye opener for folks. It was not as severe as we thought, thank God. But it also woke a lot of folks up and showed you how you could prepare if we have an actual epidemic or pandemic with a much higher fatality or CFR case fatality rate, right? So it was a good eye opener for everyone to be prepared and how to do that. Solid update. Glad to hear from someone intelligent. Thank you, Silver Yoshi. Predators Casting saying hello, IS and Chet. You guys, the last video I put out was unboxing like 196 ounces from Silver Scorpion and Silver Predator Casting. So check out that video if you missed it. Villain says Mrs. IS needs some vitamin D. Well, I got to find Mrs. IS first, Villain. Good to see, says Sal. Okay. Stingray, I haven't been worried about the virus since I contracted it and became naturally immune. So here's the one thing about this I forgot to mention. So far, people are being reinfected in South Africa. People that are vaccinated have gotten it, also people with natural immunity. So we're not sure how strong natural immunity and vaccine immunity will be for this. We'll know in the next couple weeks. It could be good. It could not be. Okay, so just keep that in mind. However, if you end up contracting this again, it has so many mutations, it's going to offer a high array of protection. The numbers for reinfection for people with natural immunity were actually pretty high in South Africa, but some people are theorizing that could be due to the high prevalence of AIDS. So it's not a good data set to look at for reinfection of natural immunity because people's immune system, a lot of them are already weakened because of AIDS, etc. So just throw it out there. So be careful. Just because you have natural or vaccine immunity does not mean you are ironclad. If I wear my girlfriend's panties over my face, am I protected? Well, Big AA, if you wear her panties, and as long as it covers your nose and mouth and you sneeze, you might help to protect other people's by keeping the large particulates from out there, but it's not going to help for microparticles and not protect you. Chef Dan, IS, I haven't been sick in 2 years. Since you went over all the cautionary procedures with massive hand washing, etc., 2 years. That's amazing, Chef. Isn't that crazy? That was 2 years? Man, it's been 2 years in this madness. Zeph is saying, International Stacker, it would be good to see you make some of the food in these kits. I'll make another video, but I'll post a community post today after the stream of the link to the video. You literally see me cook it all. You see me eat it, and I have ages from people 75 to, I think, 3 years old eating it and their reactions. So I'll give you a good idea if it's good or not. Salivate Metal loves Robin. Well, that's good. Package received, Gibby from Thad. So Gibby's sending out packages. That sounds mega. My lady got the virus and we lived together. I didn't catch not one symptom, says Silver Predator Casting. Well, maybe Silver Predator, it's because you pour silver and you probably had silver microscopic beads all over you that protected you from the virus. So rub that silver on your face. That was a joke. But silver is antibacterial, folks. It is used in water purification. It is used in the medical industry. And it's even used in yoga pants to help with bad smells. Okay, so that's something cool. Do you recommend the 3rd shot booster? Sal, I'm not going to recommend people to or not to get vaccinated. That's really a discussion you need to have with your doctor. However, I can tell you people that are immunocompromised, people that are very elderly, people with severe underlying conditions should certainly look heavily at it and speak to your doctor. I'm not going to advocate to or for it because I don't really think that's my position. I think it's everyone's right and decision they should make on their own. However, if you're within the demographics that are going to be more likely to have a severe or negative outcome from the virus, I would certainly talk to your doctor about that and do a lot of research. California Stacker, Silver Predator, same case happened to my coworker. Interesting. JJ Stacking saying, you have immune systems, exercise, then vitamin D, eat right, and live. Yeah. Your immune system works as well as you feed it, folks, and take care of it. So if you're healthy, if you're active, exercising, eating right, taking vitamins, getting sleep, and really for this, for respiratory, it's looking like vitamin D is a major player. So I've literally been taking vitamin D every day since the pandemic started because I've been in command centers and I've been at medical sites and all kinds of places working during this response. That's why I haven't put out as many videos as I did before the pandemic. However, I still put out a ton, but I was doing like multiple a day, if you guys remember, right? So that slowed down because I had to work on that. But vitamin D, I believe, is very important. Go see new rules in Greece. I know, you guys, have you seen Australia? They literally built camps in Australia. And not only are they putting positive people in the camps, but they're taking people who are contacts and putting them in the camps, like against their will. Are you kidding me? That's insane. Go watch it. For Cooking with International Stacker Series, press 1. Oh. Hey, Chef Dan was there when I actually cooked some steak. You guys gave me directions and we cooked the perfect steak. That was fun. And I tried to cook silver. And who saw the video where I pulled silver coins out of a turkey during Thanksgiving one day or one year? What do you think about them skipping the G in the Greek alphabet, or Z, or whatever, however you say that, Xi Jinping, right? I mean, they did that because they didn't want to offend the Chinese president. I mean, okay, whatever. My personal opinion is people need to like have toughen up and not be so fragile, right? We live in a society right now that's tends to give people abundance and feel entitled, blah blah blah. But it wouldn't take much for us to return back to the old days to where things are tough, constant warfare, and a lot of threats, right? So I think people need to toughen up a bit, how our ancestors were, and maybe not so tough, but not be so soft. Zeph is saying, looking forward to the link. I have stores of rice and beans, bulk long-term food, but taste is a nice thing. Beans and stuff can get old. I agree with you, Zeph, 100%. You want to eat well if you're eating emergency food, right? I drink negative blood with OJ in the morning for extra protection. Well, it looks like nose is a hashtag vamp life. A modern day vampire living among us, maybe salivate metal, can interview the first real life vampire that evidently collects silver, which seems counterintuitive. Get some sun. Best source of vitamin D available. Joel, you're 100% right. However, most people don't get enough time in the sun to get a decent dose of it. And honestly, when you're dealing with this type of stuff, having a bit more, I believe, is a good thing. But be careful. You can overdose in vitamin D. So look into what's safe to take and stick to that. Grapefruit and lemon peels bring to a boil and simmer for 3 hours. Oh, that sounds good. I'll have to try that. International Stacker, the voluntary, involuntary camps in Australia. I believe they're involuntary, Zeph. Like if you don't go, they like hit you with the $5,000 fine, right? So they're basically involuntary. Hey, I'm at the pool, says Mikey. Mikey's at the pool. Johnny B bought a deep freezer. That is mega. Please do not put any crab legs in there. Okay, Johnny, we can't eat the crustaceans. Gonna buy half a cow. Okay, I'm happy to hear that. Salvate Metal already interviews vampires, but they're called scammers. That is funny. And Nose is looking at the top, and Nosematic is in the first with the most claws ever. He's got over 218,000 claws, which is my digital currency you can earn on my streams, followed by Sublime with 100,000. Wow. No crabs. Silver Predator is crying. Natural high docks. Nice. I love the scammer videos. Yeah, those videos are fun. I stopped stacking AGAU and started stacking TP. Yeah, you guys, the one thing I got wrong In my initial videos with the COVID pandemic when it was first starting, I told you to prepare, I told you to get this and that, but one thing I never foresaw was the crazy market shift of toilet paper, TP, almost the tulip mania of 2020. I did not foresee that. Otherwise, we could have been a really rich man. I did make a funny video during that time called My Toilet Paper Full Stack. Go find it. That was funny. I did Johnny B. It was a great purchase. Make sure you got the freezer space. Yep. What your take on current crypto market? I was in cryptos before I was in gold and silver. I was mining Bitcoin. I got another contract in the Middle East into it. He got me into gold and silver. I quickly saw the things I saw in crypto. I saw more in gold and silver. It was physical, it was tangible, it was in my control. Do I mess around with crypto still? Yeah. I was in Bitcoin at 400. I mined 13 of them over time. I was in Litecoin in the 20s or teens. I was in Ethereum, the original, at like 9. I was in Ether Classic, then the next one when it came out. I've been in all the cryptos. However, I see cryptos every time I mess with them as a trip to the casino. I really do. I used to argue that Bitcoin is the digital gold. I still kind of see that in a sense because it's limited. I get the things behind it, but I think there's a lot of threats that could harm crypto. Countries making laws. Well, yeah, you could do it off the blockchain. Yeah, but if they make a law and then say you're a felon if you get caught, you know what I'm saying? Tax stuff. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. So I see cryptos as a trip to the casino. But as you all know, I do sometimes take a trip to a casino. So I do still play with cryptos. I did buy Shiba Inu and I did buy Dogecoin, and I bought those purely for the meme. I bought those purely for the meme, for the mania. I made some money off those, okay? Do I think they're ever going to? No. No. Most of the stuff's never going to do anything. But you can play with it and make some good gains, but just make sure whatever you put in it, you're ready to lose. The one thing I'm sure about is gold and silver is always going to be worth something. It's always going to be in demand. Silver is the best conductor of electricity, and it's physical. You hold it, you own it. And sure, you can get robbed, and sure, the government could try to take it away from you, kind of like the gold confiscation. But during the gold confiscation, they didn't come take it. They had people turn it in. I think 1 or 2 people got prosecuted, and a lot of people kept, okay? So to me, physical gold and silver is where you want to be. Play around in cryptos, play around in stock market. I'm playing around with some mining stocks because if we think gold and silver is going to do well and it skyrockets, well, the mining stocks or the mining companies that survive any kind of turmoil should do well too, right? So I've been playing with mining stocks. I've been kind of reviewing some of those. However, your primary focus should be physical gold and silver. Your emergency preps, which is emergency food, preparewithis.com, best deal on the internet, lasts for 25 years, put in a closet, forget about it. Emergency water, emergency cash, because that's what you'll need. And yeah, someone mentioned earlier, 90%, otherwise known as junk silver, otherwise known as constitutional silver, is also great too in that type of scenario. And I always get the people, silver and gold's not going to matter if it's an SHTF scenario, you're going to trade alcohol and bullets and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. The whole point of gold and silver is to carry your buying power, preserve your wealth, and get it from one side to another during that type of scenario, okay? So the majority of gold and silver, I believe, is not going to be used that much during the SHTF scenario. However, I do think you can barter for silver dimes and quarters and maybe some gold, 10th ounces and stuff. Just as I think bullets and antibiotics and alcohol and all that other stuff would be good too. Okay, the odds of us getting in that crazy scenario are pretty low, but it doesn't mean you can't be prepared. And by stacking gold and silver, by being prepared for a disaster, you've already taken care of like 90% of the stuff you need in that scenario. Okay, so that's awesome. You can sleep better with gold and silver. You can. And for those of you who know, not only have I slept with gold and silver, I one time took a bubble bath with a kilo bar silver that I gave away to one of you. Yes, I did live stream that. Inflation is bad. Johnny B, not only is inflation bad, inflation is the hidden tax. It's literally a hidden tax to devalue people's currency. What was it last month? We're at 6% inflation, which is the reported, which means the real is probably up around 10 or 15, who knows? But in 1 month, 6% inflation, which means you have $100, but after 30 days, that $100 only buys $94 worth of stuff. And that continually compounds. It is a hidden tax, and it is crazy, and I don't like it. Okay, Zephus, International Stacker, not to disagree, but mining companies can do horrible Even if gold and silver is going up, it's like beef farmer and super. Yeah, I agree with you. They can do horrible stuff, but that's why I've been doing a ton of research and my due diligence to find the ones that I think are a good opportunity, a good way to get some equity, and ones that could survive that type of incident. Okay, does that make sense? Not every gold or silver thing would be good, just like not every beef producer, just like all this stuff. I agree with you 110%. You know, if oil hits $150 a barrel, it doesn't mean all oil companies are going to do well either. There's a lot of other factors. So I agree with you, and that's why you got to do your due diligence. And Villain says SHIB to the moon. You know, Villain, I'm watching this dip on SHIB. If it goes like to 0.000001, I think it is, I'm definitely going to buy some more and see what happens. El Salvador offering Bitcoin bonds for Bitcoin City. Wow, that's crazy. I have not heard about that. Wow, Nose is ready. I guess that means he has a stack of hidden toilet paper in his closet. We've got 75 people and 58 likes. You guys smash the like button if you like when I do these type of videos. If you support this and if you like it and put a comment, that's going to help it greatly. This video is 100% going to be suppressed because of the topic. But also, too, if you want to get the word out and maybe have friends or family or people who are concerned, you can share this video and help get the word out and help other people have a peace of mind. And I did mention gold and silver a bit in this video, so that might help to get people that don't stack to wake up and get them to stack too. So that might be a good thing. And Chef saying, if you're interested in crypto, check out my friend Rob at Digital Asset News on YouTube. He has a section, Dan Teaches Crypto. It's informative. Yeah, Chef, I mean, it's good to know what it is, right? Whether you want to get into crypto or not, I definitely encourage you to look into it and understand it, because I think crypto technology, the blockchain, is going to revolutionize the world. I really do. Now, is that going to be Bitcoin or Litecoin or a SHIB or something new in the future? I don't know. But that technology will revolutionize the world. International Stacker, do you watch S2 Underground weekly reports? Kind of similar or related to your job? No, I do not, but I'll check that channel out. And Chef agrees and says exactly. Does anyone have any questions about the Omicron variant? I did cover that stuff in the very beginning. Probably some of you missed it. I encourage you to watch the video back. But look at this baby. This baby is exploding. And here's my channel. Please, sub, comment. I got attacked by freaking pirates on the Nile, for God's sakes. I rode a camel at the Great Pyramid of Giza, for God's sakes. We bought gold in Saudi Arabia, for God's sakes. How could you not subscribe to this? The West African market. Sorry. ICP will be bigger than my nose. Intracranial pressure nose? Do you have head trauma? Thank you for helping me get to 200 IS. Here's my, you guys, everyone click on that link right now. Silver Predator Casting. Free silver alert. He has a 200 sub GA comment video. Go make sure to comment on that. Remember, if you comment and you win, you owe me the hashtag GA tax. It's not for me, it's for the GA Goblin. If you don't know who the GA Goblin is, you've never been to Mega GA. If you've never been to Mega GA, I'll pray for you. Big AA is saying, if you are low on cash in hand, do you suggest selling some precious metals to have more cash on hand in case of another pandemic event? No, Big AA. Here's what I'll tell you. Continually add to your cash stack. I don't suggest buying and selling gold and silver unless you're flipping numismatic coins or something like that. If you got a numismatic coin that's gone greatly up in value, maybe. But I would preserve your stack and just continually add cash to your cash stack, which is otherwise known as an emergency fund. So not only would it be used for a disaster, but if you have another emergency, like your car explodes or some unforeseen thing, you tap into that cash so you don't have to sell your gold and silver. Now, if we get in a scenario where it's, you have to get cash, yeah, that's what your stack's for emergencies, sell it and get that cash. But I'd make that your last option. Wow, Silver Predator's giving away a 2-ounce poured silver bar. I'm going to pour in the announcement video. That is mega. And look here. It looks like Moogie Welder just joined my Discord. The link, I believe, is on my about page. So I'm going to drop a mega on that. So make sure to join my Discord. We talk. There's GA announcements. So Silver Predator, go join the Discord and you can drop in here. These are all GAs you can enter, guys. These are all GAs you can enter and win free gold and silver. So any GA videos you have, drop in there for everyone to join. Good place. And you can even share your stack and show the, oh, thank you, and Nose dropped the link. You can share your stack and things you're buying in this Discord, so it's a great resource. So I encourage you to go check it out. And Silver, make sure you go drop your God video there. Should get you a lot of crustaceans. And you guys, yeah, I mean, it's nice for stackers to win gold and silver for gauze, but wouldn't you rather it be a crustacean? Silver Predator has joined. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Any other comments going on here? Into the Rockefeller-owned Federal Reserve Bank. Rooster is going ham. I'm giving away. Okay, I saw that already. Okay, let's go back here. Let's go back to Crab Chat. Oh, folks, we got Silver Predator waving high. I'm going to go ahead and drop him Omega. Bam. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got. Oh, and Nose Maddox just dropped a crab dance. So as soon as that bot tells you, we're going to have... Oh, wait a second. Wait a second here, folks. Maybe we should get a little bit of old school at this. What do you think? Should we get a little bit old school? I got to be careful, otherwise I'm going to get a copyright strike. I got to be careful here. Okay. We're getting old school. This is how the Crustacean Nation was not born, almost born, but this is a celebration. I'm going to have to change the volume like every 15 seconds so we don't get a strike. Here it comes. Get those crabs ready. Get those clackers ready. Get those claws ready. Here we go. Okay, no volume, no copyright strike, no volume, no... Okay, let's hear the bongas. Crustaceans. If you're part of the nation, you get those clackers ready. You get ready to put those claws up in the sky. Here we go. This is going to be the end of the video too, guys. Make sure you smash like. Thank you for joining me on my journey. This 6 years now of journey. Over 1,000 videos. Stacking gold and silver around the world. If you're ready to win and you're not scared of the Omicron variant, I want you to get those crabs up in the sky. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Get those claws up in the sky. Woo! That's it, guys. Thank you for coming to my stream. And sorry I have to keep lowering the volume, but they're going to give me a copyright strike. Thank you all. And I guess I'll say, catch you on the next one. Woo! Mega, 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 mega.